In lieu of a funny intro today, I'm going to do some housekeeping. There are 2 books that I'm reading this month for 2 different reading projects. One of them is The Jewish Odyssey of George Eliot for my Eliot 2021 project. And the other one is Thomas Cromwell, A Revolutionary Life for my Cromwell 2021 project. Why do I keep itching my nose? Because it's itchy. So I wanted to put out a quick announcement. If you are interested in either one of these projects and would like to be on the Voxer discussion group, please send me a Voxer message at middle of the book march and I'll add you to that group. Otherwise, I'm going to post vlog or video updates on my channel for each of the reading projects. So by the end of January, I will finish The Jewish Odyssey of George Eliot by Gertrude Himmelfarb. So if you want to discuss the book, you can do it either in the video comments or on Voxer. And for Thomas Cromwell, A Revolutionary Life by Diarmaid MacCulloch, I will be finishing parts 1 and 2, and that goes through chapter 9. So I have the hardcover, and in my hardcover, it's finishing through page 230. And again, that's parts 1 and 2 for the end of January. So I'm dividing this up basically into thirds. Third in January, February, and March. The third in March, or the third, is going to be quite a bit shorter in March. So if you're interested in either of these projects, again, if you want to join the Voxer discussion groups, please send me a Voxer on middle of the book march so I'll know your Voxer handle. That's it for the intro for today. Hi BookTube, it's middle of the book march. This is my bookish week for January 16th. I've got quite a bit. It's going to be kind of a clown car of a video because I've got so much going on. And I'm going to stop. Let's just get rolling. I finished one book over audio, and it was The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. This was a very good book. I was really enjoying listening to this because the author narrates it. And it is a story told in verse of a 15 to 16-year-old Dominican-American young woman. She's in high school. She has a twin brother and very strict parents, Dominican-American parents who I believe only speak Dominican Spanish. And she's trying to navigate her teenage years with a mother who favors her twin brother. Throughout the book, she talks about the expectations put on her as a daughter, and her mother is extremely religious, following the Catholic faith, very strict, very damning and condemning of pretty much everything her daughter is interested in and wants to do. So she consistently comes down on her and is controlling her. And the daughter wants to break out of that, wants to do what every teenage girl wants to do. She finds a boyfriend. Her mother is just enraged at everything her daughter wants to do, but looks at her son very differently. Her son is favored and he can do no wrong. And so as quiet of a boy who he is, and as well-mannered and as submissive as he is, the mother favors him and looks upon him as kind of the golden child. But the story in verse is really impressive because Acevedo talks about this young girl's experiences, talks about the dynamics with her parents and specifically her mother, how difficult it is to be a daughter with that type of a mother, how she discovers poetry, how she discovers first love, and it's exceptionally written. I was really impressed by it. I really enjoyed listening to it on audio. And yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I finished last week. I am currently listening to one audiobook, Too Much and Never Enough by Mary Trump. And this is the subtitle, I forget the subtitle word for word, but how the Trump family created the world's most dangerous man. And this, as we all know, Mary Trump is Donald Trump's niece. Her father was Freddie Trump, who was Fred Trump's oldest son, Donald's oldest brother. This is a fascinating book because Mary Trump is a trained clinical psychologist, PhD, and so she's talking about her uncle from not only a psychological perspective, but an inside family source. And I'm completely fascinated. It's scary. It's enraging. It's so revealing as to why Donald Trump is the way he is at a personal level, at a dysfunctional level, and how that led into where he is now. It's a book I'm listening to on my way to work and on my way home, so I'm just blown away by it. Really super interesting. Unfortunately, I had 2 DNFs last week. One of them was Jean Reese's Wide Sargasso Sea. This did not work for me, and this is supposed to be kind of a prologue or a prequel to Jane Eyre, talking about Mrs. Rochester, the mad woman in the attic. If I had not read Jane Eyre, this would be nonsensical to me. I got like through 90 pages and I really wanted to finish it to contrast it with Jane Eyre, to talk about the similarities and the differences. And I just did not enjoy it. I didn't like the breaks in the narrative. I did not like the time jumps, the point of view jumps. I did not like it. It's got very problematic language, trying to keep that into perspective for the setting and the time period. It didn't work for me. It was not a good exploration about why Mrs. Rochester was mentally ill, why her husband kept her locked up for so long. It didn't work. And it made me sad because I really wanted to like it. So I put it down after about 90 pages. One of the big points that 2020 taught me in my reading life, if I don't look forward to picking up a book, and if I'm not looking forward to reading what happens next, I'm putting it down, I'm DNFing it. I don't have time in my reading life or my personal life to continue with a book that I'm just not eager for. And so unfortunately that was one of them. And I was going to do an update for my couple of books project with Jane Eyre and Wide Sargasso Sea. The book Jane Eyre I liked. It was a 4-star book for me. I had big issues with Mr. Rochester. I believed he was emotionally manipulative. He was cruel to Jane. He was a liar who used these techniques to get her to understand and admit to her emotional feelings for him. I thought he was emotionally cruel. Again, I'm trying to keep perspective for the narrative written at the time that it was. Jane Eyre, as a poor, penniless, owning nothing orphan girl, in a weird, twisted way, had more freedom than a Victorian woman who was desperate to hold on to her assets by getting married. And she was much more resilient, stronger, however, fell for a man twice her age, and at the end of the book, married him for a happily ever after. Okay, that's the way it was in Victorian England and Victorian literature. I'm all right with that. I did really enjoy Jane Eyre, but Wide Sargasso Sea just didn't do it for me. Unfortunately, I had another DNF, and this was Come to Me, Stories by Amy Bloom. This book is for the January read for the Barter Hordes book club, and I read several stories, probably 4 in all, and it's quite of a short book. Again, it was okay, but it was just not a book that I was looking forward to picking up and reading more. There was a story that was kind of gross to me about a stepmom and her stepson. And I just was not enthusiastic about her writing and her stories. There were a few I did enjoy, so unfortunately I DNF'd that book. I am currently reading a bunch of stuff. These Truths by Jill Lepore. I've embarked on a buddy read with Heidi from My Reading Life and Noelle from the Book Rook, and this is the address book, What Street Addresses Reveal About Identity, Race, Wealth, and Power by Deirdre Mask. Really looking forward to getting into this. I'm going to read this in the next 2 weeks with Heidi and Noelle. And I'm also reading The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. I'm loving this book. This is another, I think it's classified as young adult. It's another book written in verse. And The Black Flamingo is not about being ready. It's not even about being fierce or fearless. It's about being free. And this talks about a young boy named Michael who's a mixed race gay teen living in London. He's navigated his race. He's a combination of Greek and Jamaican. He's learning who he is and his identity, his sexual identity, his gender identity, his family dynamics with a missing father, an absent father, a single mom. This is really exceptional so far, and I'm not really that far into it. Page 63 in the hardcover. And fun fact, I found this copy in a local thrift store that's not a local bookstore, but it's kind of a junk shop, and they have a book section. But if you walk around the perimeter of the store, they have different consignment booths, and a lot of them contain books. I found this for $1, and I don't know if whoever was selling it realized what they had, in my opinion. So far, I'm loving this book. And I think that's it so far. Phew, there's a lot. I got a lot to read. I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't think so. I have an in real life book club book that we rescheduled, so I'm not reading that right now, and I'm not going to tell you what that is. What else? I talked about Eliot and Cromwell and Jane Eyre and what I finished, what I'm currently reading. I think that's it. You know, I'm going to quickly kind of talk about what 2020 taught me. Again, if I'm not loving a book, if I'm not looking forward to picking it back up, I'm DNFing it. And I wanted to make a comment. If I DNF a book, or if I slam a book, or rant on a book, or tell you in my videos that I hated it, that I thought it was poorly written, and it's a book that you loved, that's okay, because we are all individuals and we all have the right to love and hate what we want. So I am going to give honest opinions on things that I DNF or things that I love and why. That's variety makes the world go round, right? Variety is the spice of life. I think that's what I meant to say. So I did want to kind of mention that because when booktubers or creators read the comments, there's a lot of comments sometimes of, oh, it's too bad you didn't love that book. I really loved it, and here's why. That's great. I love reading those because that opens a discussion. But when I get another comment of, I can't believe you didn't like that book. I can't believe that you DNF'd it. You don't know what you're missing, or you should have finished it. No, nobody can tell me I should have finished a book, nor will I ever say that to anybody else. If somebody asks me, did this book get any better and it's a book I loved, I'll say, yes, I absolutely love the ending. And it's up to them if they want to choose to pick it back up or not. So there's my soapbox for the day. What am I doing in 2021? I'm reading very differently. I've become much more discriminating after 2020. And I am better prepared to pick up a book that I think I will love. I don't feel guilty for books that I don't like and I put down. I don't feel guilty for getting rid of books. I'm taking part in 2 reading projects for the entire year. I'm going to be a BookTube Prize judge, which I am really looking forward to. I am taking part in the Barter Hordes book club. I have my own real life book club. What does that all mean? That all means my reading is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to be so concerned with the quantity of books that I've read for the year. I'm going to be much more concerned with the quality of my reading. And I want to pull more enjoyment from that. But last year taught me I was picking up some books that maybe were popular, I didn't like. I've DNF'd a lot of stuff. I'm not going to pick up books that I recognize the cover for anymore or that are popular on BookTube if I'm pretty sure it's not going to be for me. That's it. My lecture's done. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Let me know, anything you want to talk about or discuss. Any differences of opinions that you and I have. Great. I'd love to read it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.